Mario games are great, but here are 100 things that Mario players hate in them. No one likes bonking on a wall. Mario games are momentum-based, and doing this absolutely stops all of that, making it a super big buzzkill when it happens. When you get left behind in multiplayer mode, this turns any level into an auto-scroller with your annoying friend who's sprinting along in full control of the screen speed. So you just get a power-up and immediately lose it right away. Yeah, feels bad, man. Like you're all excited to get this new ability, and then suddenly that's taken from you. Bad timing. The search party levels get a lot of hate in Mario Wonder. One of the biggest complaints here are the random hidden blocks that are required to find to progress. Like there's no indication for where some of them are, so you'll just be jumping around randomly looking like a fool trying to find this hidden block. Okay, honestly, Nintendo, this is a weird one. Chasing around bunnies. Like, I just don't even get why Nintendo is so obsessed with this. It's not even a fun challenge to begin with, and can be super aggravating to be so close to catching them and they get away. The little Timmy levels in Mario Maker. You know the ones I'm talking about, like where it looks like your younger brother just placed a bunch of garbage on screen to create this abomination of a Mario level. Everyone loves a great boss battle, right? But I didn't like it that much that I wanted to fight the same boss over and over again. Reused boss fights, they're pretty annoying, especially when the boss isn't that good to begin with, like the 5 polluted piranhas in Mario Sunshine. Slow moving platforms. They're never fun. Just brings the pace to a crawl by having to wait till this platform passes something exciting. Especially ones like in Rainbow Cruise or Dreadnought Galaxy, cause one mess up and you'll have to start all over again. There's a lot of enemies in Mario games, but the ones that players hate the most are the guys that follow you throughout the entire level. Specifically Lakitu or the sun from Mario 3. Yeah, cause you know, he's always there. You can't shake him off or defeat him without another one spawning in. Plus, Lakitu always drops spikes throughout the whole level, making him like an infinite enemy spawner. Look, no one likes being on 1 point of health, but what makes it worse is that super irritating beeping sound that plays in certain games. When this happens, I always rush to get a coin, not cause I'm low on health, but just to make that stupid beeping go away. These quizzes that randomly appear in newer Mario games. Why are they trying to add these now? The questions are so easy, and you know, like, I'm not in school. Why are you making me feel like I am? In life, I think people just, you know, enjoy being able to see, which is why super dark levels are so annoying in Mario games. Why is this fun? I'm just running around in the dark, getting lost, not being able to see the whole time. Ugh, now these are really getting on my nerves, so subscribe if you hate some of these as well, cause things will only get worse from here. The timer in general, but especially in the newer games. Like, why is this a thing now? No one cares about a high score. Really, it just sucks how it kills you at 0 rather than count up for the best time. 3D World is the worst. Like, this is clearly a 3D game. I want to explore these levels, but always feel rushed now. When people overuse the sound effects in Mario Maker, what an irritating thing to have to listen to. Use sparingly, it's alright, still not great, but I swear some creators purposely use them just to get on people's nerves. Now, in the Galaxy series, there's a bunch of these minigames, and they're not terrible, but man, the garbage throwing one has caused so much pain to gamers worldwide. The time limit is super strict, and you have to use these awkward throwing controls to have the bombs land in the perfect spot. And if you fail, this angry robot yells at you. Getting thrown off a high ledge by an enemy in Mario 64. Yeah, I don't know, this game actually has a lot of things that can bump you or move you around. But worst of all is the Chuggers or King Bomb, because they can throw you all the way down up off a high ledge, trying to get the 100 jump rope moon. Yup, have fun pressing A 100 times in a row without doing anything else. Don't even doze off or get bored for even a second, cause then you'll have to start all over again. Yeah, I don't want to imagine the pain of losing at 99 jumps. You know, I get the whole appeal of troll levels in Mario Maker, but what I hate are random troll blocks in otherwise completely normal Mario Maker levels. Like, what the heck, creator? You think you're clever here? Making one big joke out of this? No. know, it's just annoying. Ice physics. Do I even need to elaborate? Yes. Why, yes I do, because they are super aggravating in video games as a whole, but especially in Mario games since they're platformers. It makes the controls literally a lot more slippery, and no one likes the feeling of sliding off of an edge either. Having to blow on the Wii U gamepad or DS for anything. Like these platforms here. Why are you making me blow into the Wii U gamepad to move them? It's not fun, it's not immersive, it's just irritating. It was so bad that Nintendo totally abandoned this feature for the Switch and the Switch version of 3D World. So now these platforms just move on their own. So you're running to the flag, jumping at the perfect time, and you barely missed the top of the flagpole. Yup, a feeling no Mario player likes. It's just unsatisfying and a pretty annoying buzzkill at the end of a level. You were so close. Odyssey has some of the greatest Mario controls out there. So then how come they tacked on a bunch of motion controls to your movement? Like the only way to do certain actions is by shaking, and you can't map them to buttons. So in speedruns, you're literally just shaking the controller the entire time because that's the fastest way to roll. Okay, so you're platforming through the level, having a great time when BAM! You don't have a certain power-up that you need to get a secret. Now you have to replay the entire level and go back just to open up this one hidden area. Ain't that a fun thing to do? The game slightly pausing when someone takes damage in New Super Mario Bros. Multiplayer. Like, this is one of those things that is so subtle but throws you off just enough to mess you up, making it super annoying. Look, Mario 64 invented a whole movable camera, I think, but oh boy, this thing can be irritating to work with. It gets stuck on a bunch of objects, it moves around on its own, making it hard to angle, and it can just glitch out too. Mario Odyssey has so many great captures, but who really likes the slow moving ones? They're just, you know, not fun to control. I don't got all day to wait for y'all to walk at a snail's pace here. Come on now. You know what I like in Mario games? That the level moves with the player, which is why auto-scrolling levels are some of the most hated ones. You know, I want to go fast in a level. That's a fun thing to do. But with these, the screen just blocks all my momentum and the pace turns to a crawl. Mario Sunshine is the king of really frustratingly glitchy and hard levels. The most infamous one being the pachinko machine. Like, the physics for this one make absolutely no sense. You'll be flung all over the place or glitch into the wall. And you have to use these glitchy physics to get in these tiny holes to grab the 8 red coins. Oh, and if you fall to the bottom, you'll have to start the entire level all over again. Or what about the lily pad level 2 with this deadly water? Even getting to this stage is a pain. It's just a bunch of slow-moving boats you can't get off of. And if you slip up once, then Yoshi dies and you have to start from the first boat all over again. When you're playing Mario Maker multiplayer and you get in this power-up stalemate here, where you both want it, but whoever hits the block, it will go to the other person, which ends up getting you stuck in this awkward situation where no one wants to make a move. The rolling ball levels in Galaxy. Really, does anyone enjoy them? I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if you could control Mario without motion controls, but instead you have to slightly tilt your Wii remote to control this ball Mario's on, which really becomes a frustrating experience. A lot of the 2-player modes can be absolutely brutal for the second player. Like, who wants to get the crappy job of just pointing the Wii remote at coins and star bits to give to the first player? Or what about just smacking enemies with Bowser Jr.? Ooh, like even your little brother wouldn't want to play like this. You ever just be playing online multiplayer Mario Maker when, boom, suddenly things move to a crawl speed? Well, that is the lag, and oh yeah, it can be super frustrating as your game suddenly turns into a slideshow as you try and make precise jumps. These meteor showers from the new Super Mario Bros. Games. They can be frustrating as they seem to fall in a random pattern and there can be so many of them coming at once. Plus, if you're near the top of the screen, you'll barely have any time to react at all. When you're playing multiplayer with, you know, that one friend, the guy who doesn't like the whole working together part, so he'll do the opposite, where he just tries to troll the other players as much as possible, throwing you or knocking you in pits and whatnot. Ugh. The constant interruption eruptions of Fury Bowser. Like, near the start of the game, these might have been an interesting change of pace, but after a bit, Bowser just becomes a big annoyance. Most of the time, I'm trying to do something totally different or just exploring, but now you have to focus on Bowser. So you're playing the game, about to unlock the castle when, oof. You're one green star short. So you have to go back and scramble for some extra green stars. Worst of all is you'll be thinking of all the stars you couldn't get or avoided in all the previous levels too, and kicking yourself for that. Power-ups are great, right? So it really sucks when you get a power-up on a timer and it runs out. I get it for certain things like the star or a flying suit, as that would be overpowered, but then why does the ice and fire flower have timers in Galaxy, but the Boo and Bee suits you can use forever? The character-specific buttons in 3D World. Like, there's 5 playable characters to choose from in this game, so most likely I'm not gonna have the right character that can activate the switch. Meaning, I then have to replay the entire level over again with that character just to press this one switch. Oh boy, here's a big one. Something that gamers hate not only in Mario games, but in video games as a whole. Water levels. I mean, sure, they can be done right, but most of the time they're pretty lame. The controls are more clunky, you can't attack enemies without a power-up, and the gameplay is just way less exciting and slow than the on-land parts. When I can't move the camera a certain way or it gets stuck. Especially in games like 3D World and Galaxy, you barely have any camera control. I just want to have the freedom to move my camera in 360 degrees and fully look at this 3D world, rather than forced to only see one side of it. Now, I know the older Marios were generally harder than the new ones, but one thing that gets on my nerves is that I lose essentially 2 power-ups when I get hit in some of the old Mario games. Like, it's way better now, where you only get set back a power-up instead. The moon in Odyssey, where you have to literally spit out 500 coins at this plant to grow it, one by one. You heard me right, this is really all you do to get this power moon. Don't know what they were thinking with this one, as it takes forever and you do nothing at all. Carrying around these seeds. These moons just aren't fun. It's literally an escort mission in a Mario game. Pick up a seed and carry it across the map with more limited controls. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Having to complete every level with all 5 characters in Mario 3D World to get the 100% reward. Like, really, why is this a thing, having to play each level 5 times? I mean, you could play it with 4 players to make it quicker, but then you still have to play each level twice because of the extra 5th character that needs to complete it. Trying to aim Bowser while throwing him. I don't know, it's a pretty hard thing to do due to the speed of the rotation. And if you miss, then, well, you have to try and grab his tail all over again. It's like those light-stopping games at the arcade, you know? Getting kicked out of a level after collecting a star. Like, why not just let me keep exploring for more stars? It wasn't too bad in Mario 64, but in Galaxy 2, I swear it takes forever to get back into a level after being kicked out of it. People don't got the attention span for that nowadays. These guys, they're not like normal Piantas, they're the Chuggsters. It's a weird mechanic where they always throw you directly behind them, so you have to talk to them in just the right spot, or they'll straight up kill you and fling you into the void. Yeah, these guys were always confusing for me. This one tile flipping section in Sunshine. Like, your flood has to be one of the most imprecise methods of flipping this grid of tiles, yet that's exactly what you have to do. Worst of all is getting to the last tile because it's impossible to only hit one of them. Nah, you'll flip like 3 over you didn't even want to touch. The white Tanuki leaf. Like, come on Nintendo, don't petty me for sucking at a level with your free overpowered power-ups. If I can't beat a section, I should be forced to complete the section with using my skill alone, not some freebie that was given to me. Psst. One of the most frustrating deaths is being knocked into the void. I don't know, you feel so helpless when this occurs, making you think, did that really just happen? Yes, why, yes it did, unfortunately. Mario has had a lot of captures, vehicles, and power-ups with completely different controls, but probably the most frustrating one to control is the spring suit. It's got like the perfect amount of frustration to it. This guy can never sit still, so you're always slightly bouncing around even though you don't want to. Yeah, it's a pain. The poison mushroom. What is this thing? Literally meant to troll players by thinking it's a power-up because, oh, I don't know, literally mushrooms have always been good, but now this one hurts you. That is probably why it only appeared in one game. The removal of the fancier jumps in the 3D games, as in 3D Land and World. Like, why can't I do the triple jump from all the other ones? Or why does my long jump go nowhere, making it useless? This moveset is just way more bare bones compared to all the other 3D games. Getting kicked out of a level when you die. This is just a waste of time. I'm already flustered from dying, but now I have to reload the overworld, then reload the level again just to get another shot at that very same level? Yoshi, everybody loves him. So then why is he on a timer in Sunshine where he dies once this juice meter goes to 0? Come on, man. He just disintegrates out of nowhere? You don't see any other Mario characters do this, so why him? Mario's most iconic thing about him is his hat. So you already know that players hate when you have it stolen in certain Mario games. The worst one is in Mario 64, where this bird takes it and will permanently keep it unless you go back to that level to get it back. These maze sections in castle levels. You know, where only one of these paths leads to the correct exit, the rest will keep you looping in circles. This basically turns it into one big random guessing game. If I said Yoshi's Island, what would you think is on this list? Yeah, the noise that Baby Mario makes when you lose him and he floats around in his bubble. Like, just stop. You're not making the situation any better. Just hurting my ears and making me want to run away from you instead. Mario Odyssey has a lot of moons, and going for all 999 of them is really annoying. Like, I'm all for content in Mario games, but the amount of filler moons here was just too high. For anyone who achieved this, props to you, but I just could not be bothered. Unskippable cutscenes. I think the worst was back in Mario Sunshine, where it took forever just to start up a new game. Like, come on, Nintendo, you really want me to see the deep plot of this game for my 10th playthrough? The boat controls, wow, are they ever bad. Like, it's a cool idea to use the physics of the water nozzle to push your boat, but like, if you've ever played this part, then you'll know it's some like next physics that they're using. You never seem to go where you want or where you think you'll go, and if you hit anything, your boat sinks immediately. So you play through a level about to complete it when, are you kidding me? Yeah, dying on the very last jump. You hate to see it, being that close and having to restart all over again. Look, Mario games aren't meant for the story, but it's still super annoying when there's no effort put into it. Games like the new Super Mario Bros. Series, where its entire story is just this short clip, or Galaxy 2, where they literally just retell the exact same plot from Galaxy 1. The stories in Mario Sunshine or the first Galaxy were way better. So you're running through a level, having a great time when you're about to jump on a pipe, and boom, a piranha plant comes out of the pipe right as you're just about to land. In these situations, you feel like you have the worst timing in the Mario universe. Like, did the game do that on purpose? It's pretty cool to end a world with an awesome boss or finale in Mario Wonder to get the Wonder Seed. But then in World 3 and 5, they just give you the Wonder Seed with no boss or anything out of the ordinary? It's just a cutscene? What an anticlimactic way to end these worlds. Ghost houses can be a cool change of pace in Mario games, but one thing that can be really annoying is getting lost in them. I know that's the point for a lot of these, but man, some of these secret exits can be really cryptic, so it can kill the game's pace when you're stuck running around lost in here. Levels where you get soft locked in Mario Maker. Either the level creators didn't test their level, or haha, very funny guys, you purposely locked me in here. Now the only thing you can do is reset the entire level to progress. Great. Instant deaths. You know the ones. Like a giant fish eating you in one bite, or being flattened by a thwomp. These happen so suddenly out of nowhere. You don't even get a chance to save yourself. not being able to slide down the slopes in the Mario 1 style from Mario Maker. This is just super unsatisfying and kind of throws you off when all the other modes you can slide except for this one. Probably the most fun new power-up in Mario Galaxy was the flying suit, but people hated the fact that this thing was only available in the hub world and one bonus level, then it never returned. Like, Nintendo, why taunt us with this awesome idea and then just throw it away, never to be seen again? So you're holding a shell, having a great time, figuring out what to throw it at and whatnot, when you lose track of the timer so an enemy comes out of it and you take damage. Yeah, you always gotta keep a watch for that. The voice acting in Mario Sunshine.
Mario!
Objection!
Players are super divided on this one. Mario characters have always mumbled before, but in this game they talk in full sentences with some hit or miss voice acting. So you're playing through the level and you get 99 coins, but then, you get to the end. I mean, I want to finish the level, but do I go back for the extra life or just take the L and move on? A true dilemma. The blue coins in Mario Sunshine. Oh yeah, this one is personal. They're scattered in the most random places, with some of them only being in certain shines, with no indication which shines they're actually in, making this a true blind scavenger hunt. Plus, there's 240 of them in this game. Jeez, I'm not collecting those. The pole stars in Galaxy. The gameplay for these just aren't fun. You just point to a star and you'll go there. Only way you'll die is if you get sloppy and don't wait till you get all the way to the next star. The only challenges here is if you have to wait for electricity and then you just have to wait for it to move. Now that's gameplay. When you're burning in the lava, bouncing around like a little popcorn kernel and you're about to make it back to the ground when... so close. Yeah, it just sucks being taunted by almost thinking you can save yourself, but slightly being short. The Comet Observatory was such an amazing, iconic hub world in the franchise, which is why players really hated the downgraded hub world in Galaxy 2 known as Starship Mario. I mean, it's not bad, but it's super cramped and has nothing to do or explore, making it a huge downgrade. When you're fighting a boss and just have to wait for him to throw out an attack, you know, those really slow-paced battles where the boss is just looking at you awkwardly for long periods of time, and you can't attack it till it does something. So I'm just thinking, you gonna move or do something? The fact that Toadette gives you all the moons one at a time. So for the most part, when you talk to her, she'll have like 10 moons she owes you, and you just have to keep mashing A while you watch the same cutscene over and over again. The crawling in Mario 64. Like, why would you ever use this ability? Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen Mario move so slow in my life in any game. There's no advantage to using this move. In fact, they literally made a star specifically require this move to get, so it would actually have some use in this game. Motion controls for the menus. Like, I get it. You want to show off the controls on your brand new innovative game console, but this ain't it. Menus are way quicker just using a D-pad versus this clunky method. Walking through the sand. One of the most annoying surfaces to try and traverse. You move painfully slow, so you just awkwardly keep jumping to try and spend as little time in the sand, but it's still irritating. Or in certain games, you can just sink to the bottom too, which is just great. These hidden platform levels where you have to light up the path ahead of you. They're just really boring. You are simply slowly moving forward as you can kind of see the path. You know what I hate? Those random pick-a-pipe levels in Mario Maker. But I'm not even talking about those, because there's an actual moon like that in Odyssey. Yeah, why is this intentionally put in a Mario game? It's all chance, all luck, and if you choose the wrong pipe, you have to go all the way back to the beginning. Running out of water at the absolute worst time. You know, you're platforming high up, about to make a jump, when, yeah, you barely don't have enough water and fall all the way back down. Oh cool, a hungry Luma that needs 100 star bits. Luckily, I have, 99. Yeah, being 1 star bit short for the Hungry Luma sucks, especially when you collected all the star bits in a certain area. And you can't find any more, so you have to replay the entire level to get whatever the reward is. New Super Mario Bros. DS was great the first time, but by the time the 4th game came out, players really started to hate this series for literally using the exact same worlds, graphics, art style, and even music throughout every game, getting lost in the forest of illusion. Think of a ghost house if it was an entire world. You'll be going around in circles here, making no progress in the game, unless you find a secret key or P-switch that are hidden pretty well, making your first playthrough feel like a runaround, when you're constantly getting pushed and pulled around by a current. Yeah, this can either be the pipes that push you around in the 2D games, or the super strong currents in Mario 64. Like, look at this one. I'm mashing like crazy, but it still pulls me into this hole that launches me out of the entire level, being trapped by a bunch of boos. Yeah, sometimes you lose track of where they are, and suddenly they all just corner you, leaving you nowhere to go. Welp, congrats, you played yourself. Yes, I finally 100% completed every Mario game. And what do I get for being such a loyal player? Postcard. That's it. For all the time and energy I wasted for just this postcard. The fact that Yoshi is reduced to an easy mode in Mario Wonder. What? I want to play as my boy and use his flutter jump and still be able to have some challenge while playing this game. It's not like, you know, you already have an easy mode character in this game either, huh? The fact that most of the time you can't customize your button layout at all in any Mario game. Like, sometimes there are some control settings, but like, what if I want to move the run button to something like the trigger? Because it's super awkward to use in a 3D game such as Bowser's Fury. Welp, I can't do that, and even going into system settings doesn't make this any easier. In Mario 64, I swear some of the most random slopes are just slippery. Like, I get the ones that are clearly used to block the end of a level, but a lot of times you'll just be walking up and suddenly slide down a slope, causing you to have to climb all the way back up. So you're playing New Super Mario Bros. And your friend gets to the flag. Alright, that's no problem, I'll be there in a sec. But nope, at the worst time, the level just ends. Really? You couldn't wait a second longer for me to catch up? They had to end the timer right as I was about to get to the flag? Here's another type of level players aren't fond of in the Galaxy series. The bubble levels. Here, you'll have to use the Wii pointer to blow this bubble around in a certain direction. Again, the controls are just so awkward. You feel floaty and drift around everywhere. Also, if you take any damage, the bubble pops and you die. These piranha plants that shoot their ink not at you, but at the screen. Like, haha, very funny, Nintendo. You're using the blooper effect from Mario Kart, but in a main Mario game? This isn't clever, just annoying. In Mario 64, these bully guys always push you around. But worst of all is that they can trap you in a corner if you happen to go there. And if they do so, you're stuck there forever. Yup, this is a very easy soft lock trap that you can get stuck in. Fun. These windy levels, you know, the ones that just push you all around? There's one of these in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but there were also way back in Mario 2. And the wind for this one was extreme, like you have to use these mega springs to bounce around as you deal with a literal hurricane over here. Ugh, glad that's done. So subscribe if some of these things annoyed you too, and I'll see you all later. I'm out of here.